Hey friend, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to be making a loaf of Italian bread. This is a delicious Italian bread that could not be easier to make up, beginner friendly. I'm going to walk you through the steps. Some of you that have come over from my main channel may use this recipe already. You may recognize it. I made a video on my Italian bread about 2 years ago on my main channel, but it was mixed in a day in the life of videos. So there was probably about 40 minutes of video footage. And you had to skip around through it to find this recipe. But I had so many comments and emails over the years that so many people make this bread. They still to this day make this bread and their family enjoys it. So very versatile, lots of different uses for it. And there's going to be an upcoming video on that as well here soon. But today I just wanted to make an easier place where everyone can find that specific recipe and not have to jump through other things to get to it. So let's go ahead and get started and make a delicious loaf of Italian bread. Now, the first thing you are going to want to do is add your yeast to your mixing bowl. I'm just using a KitchenAid mixer, and I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of instant yeast into the mixing bowl, followed by 1 tablespoon of sugar, and you can use whatever sugar you have. I'm out of cane, so I'm just using granulated. And then to that, you're going to add 2 cups of warm water. You want your water to be around 105 degrees. And then what I'm going to do is just reach in the drawer, get a whisk, and I'm going to whisk that together. And that is going to sit while I get my dry ingredients. Now I have my big bucket of all-purpose flour here, and what I'm going to do is add in, you want to add in between 4 to 5 cups of all-purpose flour. I know mine usually takes almost all 5, so I'm going to do 3, 4, and I'm going to leave the 5th cup off to the side. And then to that, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sea salt. You can add table salt if you do not have sea salt. That is totally fine. And then you'll want to add 3 tablespoons of, usually I do olive oil, or you could use extra virgin olive oil. I've really made a switch recently to avocado. That's what I have, so I'm going to use that. So we're going to do 3 tablespoons of, I guess, your oil of choice. 2. I might have enough. I have a big gallon. Oh boy, I might not. I might have to get my gallon. I have a gallon from Azure Standard, and I just refill this as needed. Hang on. All right, we're going to finish this off with my gallon jug here. So there's 3. So 3 tablespoons of your oil of choice. And then once you have all those ingredients in, you are going to want to turn this to a level 2 and just kind of watch that come together. You're going to want to make sure that your dough ends up coming off the sides of the bowl. And like I said, between 4 to 5 cups of all-purpose flour. I usually have to use a little bit more, but as it mixes, you'll be able to tell. And I'm just going to record this part in case you have not made bread before, just so it's kind of hard with this cage thing on it. This is a commercial KitchenAid, so it kind of came with that. But as you can see, it is still sticking to the side. And I know it's going to because I usually have to add a little bit more flour. So I'm going to fix my little chute here. And I did make something earlier with this, so there's still flour on it, just so you know. So I'm going to add in a little bit more, and all you want to do is just keep adding that extra cup. That was probably a little bit more than I would have added. You want to add that extra cup gradually as it pulls away from the edge. So I'm going to let that knead and just watch it. And then you will end up wanting to knead this for 5 to 7 minutes once it comes off the edges of the bowl. So as you can see, it's wanting to lift up on the other side. It might need a little bit more. We'll see. And right now it's kind of working on what's on the bottom of the bowl. And so far it's coming off the edges. I just want it to pick up that bottom and make sure it's not going to be too sticky anymore. But that's pretty much what you're going to do. Once it comes off of the edges of the bowl, yep, there it is sticking again. So I'm going to add a little bit more of my cup here on the side and let that incorporate. But once it comes off the edges of the bowl, you're just going to set a timer for 5 to 7 minutes. And there we go. It is officially off the edges of the bowl and not sticking anymore. So I'm going to set my timer for about 7 minutes. All right, and we got about 40 seconds left. So I just wanted to show you what that's looking like. It pulled away nicely from the bowl. It did take that whole 5th cup for me for it to come off the edges. So I feel like sometimes that really has to do with the temperature of your kitchen, because there's times where 4 cups is enough, 4.5 is good, but this time it took all 5. So once again, start with 4 and you can always gradually add. You just can't take out. So that's why I say do it gradually. And it is a beautiful, nice dough right now. And we're coming up on the 7-minute mark for kneading. And there's the timer. So we're going to shut that off. I'm going to shut my timer off. And then I washed my counter while that was kneading. There was a little flour left in the chute. I washed my counter while that was kneading, and I washed my hands and took my ring off. I'm going to roll up my sleeves a little bit. So what you're going to do, I'm going to lower you guys so you can actually see. I'm going to take my dough hook out. And it's not a super sticky dough. Honestly, you can lightly flour the counter if you'd like to. And I'm not going to though. So nice, clean, didn't really leave much behind. And I'm just going to shape this into a dough ball. Do you have to knead it after you've already kneaded it in the KitchenAid? No. I personally just like to. I am a by the hands person, but my KitchenAid does save me time. So that's why I choose to do it. So I'm just going to knead this out. Perfect texture. And we're going to pull the sides and just tuck it into a nice dough ball. And as you can see here, hopefully my lighting's good. It's a little overcast today. It is a really nice, soft, smooth dough. So what we're going to do is, I guess, hold on, I think I bought my spray. Yes, I did. I've been out of my cooking spray for so long. I've just been using my oil for everything. But I did just buy this at Costco. I did my first Costco haul a couple days ago. I'll link that video down below because that was pretty exciting. So I'm just going to coat it around in the oil, make sure it's nicely covered. I usually have a flour sack towel. It must be in the laundry. Actually, I need to swap laundry. All my dish towels are being washed right now. So I have my decorative towel that I usually have out on the stovetop. And what I like to do is I like to run this under really warm or hot water, squeeze it out really well, and just cover my bowl. You're going to want to leave this in a warm area of your kitchen. You can pop it in your microwave if it fits, or in an oven with the light on for 30 minutes. It only needs 30 minutes to rise. I have a proofing button, thankfully, on one of my ovens, so I'm going to pop this in for 30 minutes and I'll bring you back. All right, it has been 30 minutes and voila, look at that. Not even a full hour rise. This is so quick and just easy to make up. So let's go ahead and shape our loaf. All right, once again, clean hands, clean counter. I'm just going to punch it down a little bit, and we're going to plop it out onto the counter. So for this part, my sleeves do not want to stay up today. For this part, all I'm going to be doing is spreading it out into a rectangle. It's pretty easy. I wish I could angle you guys better, but I can't right now. Just literally spreading it out into a nice even rectangle, as even as you can get it. And then once you get it into a rectangle, I like to flip it over because this is usually the ugly side, and it does get a little bit bigger when you do flip it over. As you can see, that is what it looks like. So I like to keep the imperfections on the inside. Who doesn't? Okay, so all the imperfections of your bread are going to be on the inside, and then on the outside, it should be nice and smooth, or smoother. So I don't even measure this, to be quite honest, because it changes. Sometimes I go overboard, or it rises too long and it ends up being this huge, massive loaf. This is such a forgiving bread recipe. You really cannot mess it up at all. And then, look at that. I could flip you right over my counter. Don't mind all this stuff on my shirt. I just like sprayed my coffee cup in the sink and it got all over me. So we're just going to be taking this seam. Oh, maybe you're a little too close. There we go. Show you the side I haven't worked on yet if my camera stays. Okay, so I am just literally pulling it up and I'm tucking that seam. So just pulling up, tucking. This is actually a super good close-up, you guys. Happy. It doesn't always happen. So we're just pinching that seam. So that's kind of what it's going to look like from my view. Just a nice, smooth seam. And then you're going to have your ends here, which are going to look like a cinnamon roll. I take this bottom part right here and I pull up and pinch and tuck a seam up here. So once again, that's what the side's going to look like. I pull up that bottom and I just fold over, and this does not matter. I mean, if you want like a super pristine looking piece of bread, this is going to matter, but you're going to eat it and chew it. That is, oh, we are not focused. That's kind of what it looks like. Like I said, it doesn't really matter too much, but so it'll be a nice smooth side. My oven went off to remind me to tell you that you need to preheat your oven while you're doing this to 425 degrees. The second I get my dough ready to go on the counter, I preheat my oven to 425, and it reached 425. So there we go. Nice smooth side. That's what it's going to look like from my view. I hope you're not getting motion sickness, because I get motion sickness and I'm like, someone might complain. And then I'm literally flipping the whole thing just completely on the other side, where the seam is on the other side, or the underside. And I am just shaping, kind of going like that and just pressing it together a little bit. You can shape your loaf. You can shape it now how fat you want it. Push it together more. I literally was talking and forgot to press the record button. Okay. I don't think you got anything I just said. So if you want to like see how this side's a little bit fatter, if you want to take your other hand while you have this hand here and on both sides, just kind of press it inward together and elongate it. That will make it skinnier. If you want it fatter, just press it all together and shape it with your hands. That's all you have to do, you guys. And look at that, like such a forgiving loaf of bread. It's beautiful though. Okay, I'm in a hurry because my kids, all 4 olders, have a dentist appointment down the hill, so I did not cut this very well. But you're going to get parchment paper on a cookie sheet, and I'm going to have to turn my back, but I think you know how to get a loaf of bread onto a cooking pan. There we go. Voila, it's on. My phone is going off on the side. I have it on silent. Let me press. I'll call you back. Okay, so I have like my fancy sourdough type, this is bothering me, sourdough type blades, but I'm not getting that out right now. Just double checking my loaf. I'm just taking a serrated knife like that, and I'm just going to make 5 slits across the top. And I'll bring you along for that part. Sorry for the shadow. My under cabinet lighting is causing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just like to make 5 scores through it, and it will widen as it bakes as well. All right, and then I'm taking a little ramekin here. I already put a little tiny bit of water in it, and I'm just taking an egg that I just pulled out of the nesting box earlier and kind of cracking in that just to make an egg wash. And I'm going to save that shell because I feed it back to my birds. I have to wash my hands, and then we're just going to take, I'm not going to tip it because with my luck, I will spill it all over me right now. It's kind of how things are going when I'm in a hurry, so I'm trying not to rush this, but we're just going to mix that up. And then you're going to want to take a brush if you have it, and you're just going to brush along the top and the sides of your loaf of bread and get that all coated. Now, I will say, once again, when it's for our family, I don't really, you know, like presentation's nice and all, but we don't care. We're just going to eat it. But if I have like company over and I'm making this, I want it to look really, really nice. So I'm just going to say when you bake it in the oven, it will be a nice shiny, there will be a nice sheen, a nice shine to wherever your egg wash goes. So if you do really good like up here, but oops, you didn't do the underside, or like it dripped down, it will show those drip marks on the bread, for those of you who care, because there used to be a time where I was that way and I was super OCD about stuff like that, and I was a perfectionist, and I lived a very miserable life doing so. But that would have bothered me, even though we're going to eat it and it's going to be gone in like 5 minutes. But just kind of brush along and cover all the surfaces, and you'll have a really nice even color and a very nice even shine to it. So this is going to go in the oven for 425 degrees for, just wanted to show you from the top, for about 18 to 22 minutes. And I will bring you back when that timer goes off. Before my camera fogs up, that is what it will sound like when it is done. All right, it is hot. My hands are really calloused, believe it or not. So anyway, just took that off the tray. That is what it looks like. So you can kind of see what I was talking about here, like when it drips a little bit, the discoloration. But anyway, absolutely gorgeous shine to it. This was actually in for about 20 minutes. So I don't let it go past that because it does start to brown up really quickly. It will soften. It will soften and it'll look completely different once it cools. It'll be like a softer, a little bit softer of a loaf. It's soft inside. It is a little bit harder on the outside, but it definitely will soften up where like you can kind of press it a little bit. But right now it is solid, and that is what the loaf of bread is going to look like. Because this is a bread recipe that we make very, very often, I will share in an upcoming video some recipes of different ways that we use this bread. This is absolutely a staple in the winter when we're like making soups or even just any type of meal, lasagna, pasta dish. I will be sharing a video coming up here shortly. I have to make a couple loaves of these, and as soon as I have time to do it, I will, and I'll share with you some of our favorite ways to use this bread. It's very versatile, but it is delicious. It is a staple in this home, and we absolutely love it. So, and actually, another way you can do it, which I'm not going to share in a video, but you can definitely make this a longer loaf like I showed you, like pressing on both sides and making it longer so it's thin enough, and you can slice it in half like for a big sandwich or something like that if you wanted to as well. Just stack it with different veggies and lunch meats and condiments. So that's another thing that you can do with it too. But I will have a video coming up sharing some different uses for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was thorough enough for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the description box below. And if you do give this recipe a try, I hope that it is delicious for you. I hope your family enjoys it and that it becomes one of your go-to recipes very quick. And I love that it has a 30-minute rise and there's really not a whole lot to it. It's so simple, just a handful of ingredients, and it makes a delicious bread. So give it a try. Let me know down in the comment section below if you do give it a try, and I will see you guys on the next video, hopefully Thursday. Until then, take care and God bless.